back at the Clever TV headquarters in Hollywood. I'm Dana Ward, hanging with Brendan Meyer.
Hi.
You know this guy as Mr. Young on Mr. Young over on Disney XD. Hello, hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Welcome, welcome. You're actually in town from Vancouver, where you guys shoot.
That's right. Yeah, we just wrapped up shooting on second season of Mr. Young, and I'm just down here for a couple days for some meetings and some other things. So I'm always glad to be here.
So end of season 2. I mean, we're still in season 1. Can
Yeah.
you actually rewind back and remember shooting season 1 and what it was like on day 1, actually, of the show?
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. Whenever you go, like, day 1 of any show is just so... It's just so weird because you're new and you don't really, like, you sort of know the other castmates and you don't really know what the process is yet. And I remember even on the first day and second days, and I was like, you know, I'm having a lot of fun. Like, I'm hoping, you know, you always look forward to the day where you kind of can just get in the groove and know what's going on. And it's so funny because, you know, even now, I remember I was thinking about this. You look back on the first day and you think, man, it's like it was a different show, right? Because you didn't know everyone, you
Yeah.
didn't, even you barely even knew who the camera guys were at
Yeah.
the first day, you know, and who, you know, everyone was. And so now it's like, you know, to be at the end of second season and know everyone and know the process and really be friends with a lot of the people who are on the show and know that. I mean, it's cool. It's funny to look back because it almost feels like you were working on a different television show. Everything feels different.
Yeah, totally. I guess in season 1, is there one particular episode that stands out as your favorite? Maybe something funny happened while you were shooting, or just touched your heart?
Yeah, no, there's a couple in season 1 I really like. I really like Mr. Shakespeare. I'm a big Shakespeare fan, and so I really liked that episode kind of went into that. But I also just liked the episode on the whole. I thought that was really, really funny.
Well, didn't you start your own theater and you did Shakespeare?
Yeah,
like back in the day?
Yeah, me and my back in the day,
Way back
back
in
when
the
I was
day.
a kid. Back in Edmonton, me and my 2 best friends started our own sort of, you know, youth theater company. And so essentially we just, you know, would call up our friends and, you know, put on a play. And so a lot of what we did was Shakespeare. Started with Twelfth Night, and then we did a production of The Tempest. And, you know, we'd do the whole play. You know, we'd edit it somewhat, as you do with all Shakespeare plays. But, you know, it would still be the Shakespearean text, and it would be a full, like, you know, almost 2-hour show with intermission, and all the cast would be kids, and, you know, all the kids would, you know, I mean, we got a lot of parental help too with, like, costumes and of course driving the kids around, but for the most part the whole cast was, you know, was kids. So I mean, it was really cool, and it was a fun way to keep busy, you know.
Yeah, I got to give you props for
Oh,
that. Very
thanks.
cool. So
Thanks, yeah.
Mr. Shakespeare is one of your favorite episodes. Is there another one that stands out?
First season, well, you know, I've always got you always have a soft spot for the pilot. I mean, that's that first one, you know, it had a lot of the scenes you audition with. And I think the other one that I really, really like is Mr. School Song, which is just my favorite. There's no real soft spot or anything, but that's one of my favorite scripts, and I just thought it was really, really funny. It was an episode where there was a big cast, almost all the regular cast was in it, and everyone got a chance to shine, and it was very, 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 very funny. So that would be like my favorite one as far as like I love the story and the way it turned out.
And of course, for anyone who has never tuned into Mr. Young, can you kind of just set us up what the general storyline is, and who is Mr. Young?
Basically, Mr. Young is about this 14-year-old genius called Adam Young, and at the age of 14, he's already graduated university. He's already, you know, got his degrees. He already, you know, basically has done everything that you need to do to move on to a job at like NASA or something like that. But instead of doing that, he decides to go back to his old high school and have the high school experience he never had, because he blew through high school, he didn't have a chance to appreciate it, so he becomes the high school science teacher for grade 9. And so that's kind of the general premise, you know, and so he's this kid, you know, teaching the class, and so he's got this adult job, and he has to deal with, you know, the principal and the other teachers and the other faculty members, while also, you know, teaching kids his own age, so he can be effectively bullied by the bully in the class. He has a crush on one of the girls in the class. You know, his best friend is in the class, and he doesn't give him any respect. You know, he's always pulling pranks. So it's a really interesting story, and has a lot of really good characters, and really lends itself to a lot of really funny situations and great plot lines.
I'm sure there's some awkward moments
Yes.
as well for your character.
Yeah.
I heard that when you guys shoot, you actually have a live studio audience, which doesn't happen all the time for a lot of the shows out there. What's unique about working with a live audience? Yeah,
well, there's a lot of shows here on other shows on Disney Channel and Disney XD that do shoot with a live audience, but there isn't really a lot of stuff down here in LA they shoot with it, but out in Vancouver they don't.
Oh, it's the norm.
Down in LA, it is sort
Not
of the
so
norm,
much
but
there.
there's really nothing like it in Vancouver.
Oh,
There's
okay.
really nothing like it. So this is kind of the first show of its kind, you know, with 4 cameras and a live audience in Vancouver. So it's really interesting, and you know, it's really you get really the best things about theater and the best things about film in one. You know, on those Friday nights, you get the buzz and excitement of a live audience. and you get that feeling of, that instant laughter and that instant, reaction. But at the same time, the process doesn't change. You still have multiple takes. You can still finesse. You can still change things. You can still, adjust lines if something isn't working, in front of the audience. So really, it's awesome, and I love working on the Fridays.
Very cool, very cool. And this is on Disney XD, which I feel like a lot of us sometimes think, oh, it's just for guys. But this show is not just for guys.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in your live studio audience, you see like a ton of girls and stuff there too.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't think this show is directly geared toward guys at all. I think guys will really enjoy it, but I mean, it's a show for girls and guys. I mean, there's nothing I think in that show that is specifically, marketed toward guys or girls. It's just a funny show, and I think that, like I said, like you were saying, in the live audience, there's a mix of girls and guys, old and, young, and I think that Mr. Young, and I think the writers have worked really hard to make it a show that parents can still, enjoy. Even if it's not their favorite show on TV, as this Disney XD show, I think that parents can watch and still really enjoy and laugh. And there's a lot of, I think there's a lot of, throwbacks to old comedians like Marx Brothers and Charlie Chaplin and those kinds of things. Like they have those sort of, they have some, we had an episode where there was like some of it was silent, and like they've done interesting little things like that. And so I definitely think that there's a lot of things that not only just boys and girls can glean, but whole families can enjoy.
Now, since you play a teacher on the show, is there anything that you were teaching that you were actually learning while you were teaching it? Yeah,
no, I mean, a lot of it is, that science. So no, there's definitely a lot of, a lot of things where I'm like, oh, I didn't know that, about, what that is. And no, I mean, because there's a lot of, long passages where you're teaching things. And yeah, I definitely don't know everything that I teach in the class.
You're learning and teaching and learning.
I know, it's an education. I get my science education as well as.
Sweet, good job, good job. So second season coming up. What should viewers look forward to? What's different about this season, or what stands out about these upcoming new episodes?
Well, I really feel like with anything, as I think everything improved. I think that the second season, everyone had more of a chemistry, and there was, I think everyone had, all the acting is better. Everyone was really good in the first season, but everyone's even, me included, everyone's starting to even, go even a little better, and I think that the writing has even improved. I just think that the second season is a real step up from the first season in every way. As well as it's still being great the first season, but it's like as everything progresses, it improves to being even better. So I think there's a lot that people can look forward to.
Very cool. Well, thank you so much for joining us now. I hope that you guys learned a little bit more about Mr. Young. Make sure you check out Brendan Meyer over on Disney XD's Mr. Young. I'm Dana Ward for Clever TV, and we'll see you guys next time.